Coming up on Texas Home Improvement.
So Jim showed me paint colors and pictures of the lake house, and I've got the perfect slab for him. I can hardly wait to show it to him.
Smile. You woke up in Texas. One of the fastest growing states in the country. Meet Jim Dutton, contractor and syndicated radio show host, along with the Texas Home Improvement team, here to show you how to get the job done right and protect you from out-of-state bootleg contractors. This is Texas Home Improvement. Last week on Texas Home Improvement.
Hi, my name's Brian. This is my wife, Terry. We have two daughters, Abby, who's 15, and Molly, who's 13, and we're looking for a lake house.
Well, Todd, Brian's always throwing us curveballs on the shows, things he wants us to do certain ways. Yep. I think it's our turn. Okay, the siding's on, windows are in, outside is looking great. It's time to move inside. We got the laundry room already done, but looking at those old countertops, even though Todd says we don't need to do them, they're looking pretty nasty. So let's get those countertops out. We got some granite countertops going in. Todd can take a look at those later. And that's what we're gonna work on today.
Anytime you put granite in a house, it's going to look good, but looks can be deceiving and sometimes it can actually hurt you. DFW is the area of the country where more granite is put into homes than any place on earth. DFW and surrounding. There's research every year about things that buyers and sellers demand and like, and DFW ranks really high for granite. So it's generally a good thing. But with vacation homes and lake houses, it can be a little bit different. A lot of times people try to put some cheaper quality material in, or they skimp, and it's certainly not needed to enjoy a lake home. So depending on what Brian and the family want to do with the house, it may not be needed at all. So if it's done and done well, it can be a huge value add. But if you go with a cheap quality or a really thin granite, or you put it on poor quality cabinets, it can actually end up being a little bit of a nightmare. So if Jim gets it right, it can be huge for the value regardless of what Brian chooses to do with the house. So let's hope Jim gets it right, and it'll probably be a really good thing.
Hey, I'm on my way over to meet with Denise at Stone Age Granite to take a look at what she came up with for the new countertops.
So Jim showed me paint colors and pictures of the lake house, and I've got the perfect slab for him. I can hardly wait to show it to him.
Hey Denise, how are you today?
I'm good. How's it going? Good
Oh,
seeing
pretty
you.
good. Well, what'd you find me?
Based on the colors you told me,
Uh-huh.
I've got the perfect slab for you. Want to take a look outside?
Excellent. Yeah, let's take a quick look.
Okay. What year it is, Jim?
Oh, it's a great looking piece of stone.
I knew you would like it. It's perfect for the lake house.
Okay.
It's got all the great colors for your white cabinets, gray walls. It's fresh, it's crisp, it's fun. Now this is a dolomite, which is kind of like between a marble and a quartzite.
Right.
But it's just really a fun one. They do come in different patterns. This one I thought was perfect for you because it is out at the lake.
Well, yeah, not only is it hitting the whites and the grays with the paint and everything, this brown is really going to pop with those floors that are in there as well. So this is a great piece of stone.
Yeah, I thought you would like it. I'm glad.
Well, let's go cut it up.
Sounds great.
Hey, we're over here at Stone Age Granite, and one of the things I truly love about Stone Age Granite is the fact that they hand fabricate all their stone still. A lot of companies have gone to using the laser cutters, and that's great, but there's details that you cannot do with a laser cutter that the hand artisans can still get done, and that's truly what I love about Stone Age Granite. All right, our stone is pretty much fabricated, ready to go. You know, one of the things you're going to notice, this is a nice heavy stone. Some companies have gone to the thinner 3 centimeter stone, and quite frankly, that stuff can crack over time. All stone, though, you got to be real careful on the transportation of it, because these are thin spots. It can have fissures, and if they're not careful, it can literally crack while being hauled down the highway or into the house. But now we got this stuff ready to go. Let's load it up, hit the road, and get it installed on the job site.
Texas Home Improvement, brought to you by Arrington Roofing and F-Wave Revia Synthetic Shingles. Here's some stuff you need to know.
Hey, I'm out here with Sean White from Professional Garage Concepts, and we're going to be talking about overhead garage doors. We all have them, but do we realize how much maintenance needs to be done to keep these doors working right? And Sean, we're dealing with a wooden door here, which probably weighs a little bit more than a metal door.
These are the beast, yeah. These doors, this one here is probably going to say, without putting a scale, probably about 500 pounds.
Quite heavy. Compared that to a metal door?
165, 225, right in that ballpark.
Okay, now I've seen this door go up, and just for purposes here, it creaks like you're going into a haunted mansion or something. So what are we going to have to do to this beast to get it fixed?
Let's get in there and look at it, but I can already tell it's definitely going to need lube. I can guarantee the springs are going to need to be adjusted. Track's probably going to need to be adjusted as well. So get in there and get to looking at it and see what needs to be done.
All right, enough talk. Let's get to work. All right, Sean, we're inside. Where do you start?
Normally I'd go ahead and put the door down and disconnect it.
Okay.
So what I'll do is put it down, and then you can disconnect it from the motor. And then once it's in manual mode, you can operate it by hand. It has 3 balancing points. One is on the ground, you want it to sit. You don't want it popping up. The second one is you want halfway it should sit. Not sitting. Your door should sit up with your header like this.
With it not sitting, now we're getting into those dreaded springs on the top that I always tell people, don't mess
touch
with
them.
it.
Especially these. These are way bigger than standard springs.
Well, and these are also the ones that if you don't know what you're doing, they can get away from you and take your finger off before you knew it happened.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're getting into adjusting the springs now, and this is not a do-it-yourself project. Did you just see how tight that was? If you don't have that fixed just the way it needs to be, that's when it'll start spinning on you, and that's when you're gonna have major problems. Leave this to the professionals. What kind of lubrication do you use on an overhead door like this?
This is a petroleum based.
Okay.
So when you spray it inside the rollers, you're basically going in there and flush all the good grease that I put in there. So this stuff here is pretty good. It'll actually last a couple of years.
Okay.
So. Well, let's hook it up to the motor, see how it sounds.
All right, we got it hooked back up.
You got the magic button. The best way I can describe it is almost like the garage door opener has a memory. It's been running like this for, I think this house is about 3 years old.
Correct.
It's been running like that this whole time. I just did a complete makeover on it. So it's like, what'd you just do? Why is it acting like this? So what we're gonna do is jump up there and adjust the sensitivity settings on the opener, and that'll fix that problem. When we just, remember I was telling you about the opener's been running that way forever.
Right.
So with this particular unit, you have to reset the limits, and then it'll automatically reset the sensitivity settings inside the motor for you.
And by limits, you mean how far down it goes and how high up it goes.
Exactly. So,
All right.
what do you think?
That's the way it's supposed to be. And this is exactly why I tell you, don't do this yourself. It's too easy to have somebody come out who knows what they're doing. Professional Garage Concepts, they came out and took care of us on this one, and hey, they can help you out as well.
So one of the things we try to do is broadcast a show every single weekend from a different location. This week we're at Connor's Car Show. We're here to raise money for Down syndrome awareness, and there's about 600 cars here, and we've got Jim broadcasting live, and we're having a great time. One of the great things about Connor's Car Show is we have so many classic cars here. One thing they did different this year is they brought out the exotic cars. All right, one of the other things going on this weekend is the Crawfish Festival right here in Keller, right next door to Connor's Car Show. And if you want crawfish, they got lots of them.
Texas Home Improvement, brought to you by America's Choice Windows and James Hardy Siding.
All right, we're out at the lake house. It's time to get those old countertops out, new granite countertops in, and that's a job for Stone Age granite. Well, Steve got the light fixtures installed, and you know, it's got these real cool Edison bulbs. These are LED, and a lot of people think that this is still the old-fashioned bulbs, but it's amazing what they can do with LED bulbs nowadays, and really saves a lot on your energy bills. Alrighty, it's finally finished. We got our laundry room and a nice sliding barn door and a washer and dryer. That's what you need at a lake house. Alright, when it comes to granite or any stone surface, you really have one shot at getting it right, because if you overcut something, it's toast. You got to start all over with a new piece of stone. So you can cut it short and maybe make it a little bit smaller if you have to, but the way they manage that is they use these templates that they put together, and then they literally can take this template off, take it outside, and do the final cutting on site in order to fit the granite in exactly the way it needs to be. Alright, one of the other things we had to do while we were out here working on the lake house is a new vanity, because the old one was kind of messed up. And when you start dealing with old structures, one of the things you got to keep in mind is you're always going to run into the unknown. Like underneath this vanity, the plumbing wasn't correct, and we changed out some old copper pipes for the flex lines and different things like that. When we got into changing out the light fixture, there was actually no box in order to have all the wires tied together in the back. We installed a box, got everything up to code the way it's supposed to be, but be prepared when you're working on older homes. You're gonna have things that you just plain don't see up front. All right, once we get the last of this backsplash in, we got to pack up and head back into town because we got to head back out for the Fort Worth Home and Garden Show at Will Rogers Auditorium. Great show. You need to come by, take a look. That's where you can talk with all the different people about your home improvement projects.
Want more Texas home improvement? Listen to our radio show every Saturday and Sunday. Got a question during the week? Go to thipro.com.